Hi, Popcorn Junkies. To quote Anchorman, or Ron Burgundy, this trailer's kind of a big deal. This is the official trailer to Dune Part 2. The sci-fi epic based on Frank Herbert's book of the same name. I remember as a teenage boy travelling on the Central Line, reading Dune, and being absolutely captivated by the level of detail that Frank Herbert went into in describing the spice trade and sandiness and the kind of interconnected economic ecosystem type thing of all these planets and cultures and all that kind of stuff. I loved the complexity of it. It really appealed to me. Whereas Star Wars was the kind of camp Saturday morning thing, this was the grown-up real deal. This was proper sci-fi, granular, layered, complex, detailed, interested in believably creating an entire economic, psychological, faith-driven system. It felt expansive, even when you just read the book. Anyway, so the first film, Dune. What did you think of the first film, Dune? Were you fans? I loved it. It's very, not slow isn't the right word. It was methodical. It was detailed. It was epic in the truest sense of the word. You came out feeling like you had sand in your teeth and sand in your shoes. You felt it. You breathed it. It took its time. It built atmosphere. You got a sense of scope. You got a sense of reach. There was the slight frustration that you didn't feel that Zendaya kind of came to the fore and they'd kind of advertised it massively on Zendaya. So Dune Part 2, we're going to continue to see, obviously, Timothée Chalamet is the star. Timothée Chalamet is Paul Atreides as he continues in his, he's got his mother alongside him. We've got Josh Brolin in there, Dave Bautista. But also what's exciting about this trailer, this film, is we're also going to see Austin Butler and we're also going to see Florence Pugh. You've also got Stellan Skarsgård as the fabulous, fabulous villain. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited about seeing this. I really want to see Florence Pugh's turn, or a bit of her turn, as Princess Irulan, is it? Irulan? Who's going to be the daughter of the Emperor, played by Christopher Walken, who I understand isn't in the trailer. Austin Butler plays Fade Rauta Harkonnen, deadly warrior. Difficult names to pronounce, but almost the difficulty of the names makes it even more believable. For me, Dune is all about this word, verisimilitudinousness. There's verisimilitude here. This is about, within the logic and the fiction of the film, there are rules, there are truths. It makes sense. It's not lunacy. We don't go off on one somewhere. Léa Seydoux is in here as Lady Margot. And of course, Rebecca Ferguson, who has fast become one of my absolute guilty pleasures. I loved her in the, whatever the name of the sequel was to The Shining. She was absolutely sensational in that. So if I'm really honest, I know Zendaya's a big part of the sell on this, but I guess she's appealing to a particular type of demographic. She's not the most exciting part of this for me. What's exciting for me in this is a little bit like with Blade Runner. I want to embed myself within it. I want to be in it. I want to feel it. I want to smell it. And I want to be given more complexity to the world that we're in. So without further ado, let's check. I mean, I have to confess, I've been really waiting for this. They describe it as Star Wars for grown-ups, or Star Wars for thinkers. Not thinkers, that's I'm a Star Wars fan, but Star Wars is a bit more kind of, well, it's comic, isn't it? It's cartoon, it's camp, it's caricature. This is grown-up sci-fi.
It's breathtaking. When you see sand here, imagine water. If you dive in, you can't reach the bottom.
You dive in?
Yes, it's called swimming.
I don't believe you.
Glitter, glitter.
In the shadows of Arrakis lie many secrets. But the darkest of them all may remain. The end of House Atreides.
My father didn't believe in revenge.
What if Paul Atreides were still alive?
Have you ever had a dream about your first ride?
Don't try to impress anyone. You're brave, we all know that. Be simple. Be Direct. Nothing fancy.
I understand. Nothing fancy.
You will never lose people in trainings.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope! May thy knife chip and shatter.
Was that Austin Butler with the bald head and the white sort of ivory sticky skin? I feel sandy. I feel like I've got sand in my boots. I don't know whether the whole sandy thing just appeals to me because the whole Arab thing is so endemic in our family. You know, it's just the sand dunes, and obviously leaning on the sandworm. I mean, the sandworm is a big part of the whole Dune thing. I mean, it was on the cover of the earliest editions of the book and all that. I do sometimes think the sandworm is perhaps, because it's the most obvious thing visually, that it's diminished a little bit as a sort of narrative tool, though obviously very exciting watching him sand surf or sand swim on the back of a sandworm. What I'm interested in is in all the factions, in all of the conflict, in all of the kind of Machiavellian sort of striving for power or double-crossing certain kind of cultures or civilizations or what have you. Florence Pugh looked absolutely sensational and gorgeous, and I'm presuming that was Austin Butler in that sort of almost looked a little bit Prometheus-esque, you know, the kind of creatures or the giant sort of humanoids in Prometheus looking like that. Good to see Dave Bautista in there, some good battle scenes. Zendaya, nice little moments, lots of glistening kind of sand. Don't get me wrong, I like all the sandworm stuff, but for me the really interesting stuff there is the Austin Butler, the battle between him and Paul Atreides, the Florence Pugh aspect. What about her with that wonderful sort of chainmail sort of thing on her head? Léa Seydoux kind of getting romantically involved with him. You know, Stellan Skarsgård villain kind of taking a back seat to, I think Austin Butler looks sensational. What brilliant. I love that moment of black and white kind of conflict fighting gladiatorial type stuff. And Rebecca Ferguson, I mean, she just looks sensational. And I have to say, even the blue eyes, I'm just feeling the blue eyes. I like the colours, I like the colour palette. It's just, oh, I'm so excited. Are you excited? I'm so looking forward to seeing this. And then I can't wait when it's out to watch them back to back. And let's hope it actually does better at the box office than the last one. It did well, the last one, but it wasn't an absolute surefire hit.